You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, B&B fans. Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we're here with your early weekly spoilers for next week, June 10th through 14th. We're going to see Hope Logan flaunting some newfound power, and Li Finnegan, oh my gosh, she is so jealous, and I expect more ranting from her. We are going to dive into everything happening that we know so far next week, and I'm excited to tell you guys about it. There's some good stuff happening right now in B&B. If you haven't, though, reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our updates. Let's dive right in. As we always do with the early editions, we're going to talk real quick about what's happening the rest of this week just to set up the context for next week's spoilers. So on Wednesday, June 5th on Bold and the Beautiful, we've got Hope and Steffy continuing this same argument we've been hearing all week. We're going to hear more of it. Hope vows she won't let Steffy run the Logans off. I saw a lot of people on social media talking, and I did have to agree that basically, while Hope was trying to defend keeping her line and was talking about Logan's successes, all the Logan's successes she listed off were Brooke's. That's not really a justification to keep Hope for the future. Brooke developed the belief formula. Brooke's bedroom, her skanky lingerie line is still doing well, but Hope for the future is not. And she's like wanting to rest on Brooke's laurels. So I'm very interested to see how this power plays go. And Steffy, of course, is going to let her know that she's going to shut the line down one way or another. But Ridge goes to Brooke with a very enticing offer, and he asks her if she will help him and Steffy lead the company forward. He is offering her a seat of power, maybe to take on his role as co-CEO temporarily, maybe a new position, but it's a position where it's going to let him focus on couture design and her basically take over the administrative and overseeing stuff that he has been doing with Steffy. And of course, Brooke is going to say yes. And of course, Steffi's going to hate it. And I can't wait for her to hear about it. She's going to be enraged that a Logan is in power. Meanwhile, we get the results of Luna's DNA, her paternity test. And just by the way, that test that they are doing does not exist in the real world. I looked because I was very curious, because it's like, okay, usually you have to go into a lab. There are home tests, but even the home tests, they come with an envelope and you drop it into FedEx and they send it off to the lab. And then like 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 business days later, you get an email with the results. But the way that Li was saying it, 2 lines if you're a match, it's not a pregnancy test. That test does not exist. It's so planned, so we have to let it go. And no matter whether Bill is her father or not, there's going to be explosions. I still don't think that it's Bill. That would be too easy. And the fact that Li mentioned that Poppy had an open DNA test, she might have already swabbed herself trying to get a match, but we'll see how it goes. Then on Thursday, June 6th, Steffy is in a rage. She is unloading on Finn about Hope. She, I'm sure, is going to tell him that she's furious because she tried to close down Hope's line and her dad wouldn't let her. And of course, Finn and Hope are very much alike to me, very milquetoast, where Steffi's like high drama. And Finn is going to say, well, of course, Hope wants to keep her line. And, Hope's a good girl and Hope's nice and blah, blah. And Steffy just wants Finn to take her side. She's going to explain herself to him further, but I still don't think she's going to bring him around because he's he's a Hope apologist and he's never going to hate on her like Steffy wants him to. And that's just one more layer of issues in their marriage. Meanwhile, on Thursday, Li talks to Katie again, and she talks to her about Poppy and gives her a warning about how bad she's going to be for Bill, because whether Bill's the daddy or not, he's going to keep seeing Poppy. He's very serious about Poppy, and Li wants Katie to go in there and pry them apart. She's cryptic in her warning, but I'm sure the drugs are part of it, and I'm just wondering how many hints she will drop. Friday, June 7th, we are going to wrap up the week. It's a very weird and cryptic spoiler, says that Hope is in an unexpected situation. So something happens she didn't see coming. And I wonder if she winds up with Finn and they have a near kiss. Someone walks in on them. It feels like they're leading up to something with Hope and Finn, which I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I'm not interested in it. Thankfully, these spoilers for the following week bring us some hope. Now let's dive into the early spoilers for June 10th through 14th. Hope's uncomfortable situation carries over into Monday. And the good news is, whatever it is, whether it's her and Finn, her and somebody else, Thomas should be back soon. So also, we are going to have Hope so happy that her mom is now part of the leadership, because Hope was just giving her that pep talk about get in there, basically, because she wants her to be a shield, a human shield for her and for Hope for the future. But once Brooke tells Ridge, yes, Hope will not be able to control herself. She will flaunt it in Steffy's face that it's a new regime, a new Logan rise to power, and that Steffy will never get rid of her line now. And of course, Steffy is going to freak out, and this is going to push her closer to, I don't know, I feel like she's a teapot on boil and is going to just blow up on everybody. We're also going to have fallout from the Luna Bill DNA debacle. Li is not going to stop until she ruins Poppy. And I don't know if you picked up on this vibe. I picked up on it immediately. Li made very clear to let Poppy know that she, spent time in Bill's house, that Bill was her savior after Sheila almost killed her. I think that Li is very jealous of Poppy and Bill. I could just smell that a mile away. So whether he's the daddy or not, I'm guessing Li's campaign of hate will continue. Finn is going to push Steffy to the absolute end of her rope by defending Hope and refusing to completely renounce Sheila. Thomas Forrester's return is imminent, but the big question is, who brings him back? I did a standalone video wondering if it might be Brooke who calls him back with her newfound power. Come back, save Hope for the future, save my daughter. I agree, you're not bad for her. Something like that. Or maybe Hope, or maybe he just wanders back on his own. It feels like something has to be a catalyst to bring him back, though. And Steffy tries to undermine Brooke in her new position and get her dad to undo it. Of course, Ridge isn't. He just wants to wash his hands of all the drama, and by handing it to Brooke, then he can just walk away and let the ladies fight it out. Those are all of our early spoilers that we have. Please drop your comments on what you're excited to see. Please subscribe if you have not, and please come back every single day, because we are here talking Bold and the Beautiful 7 days a week. And as always, I'm your host, Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.